Welcome, everyone, to the Complete Unnecessary Podcast for Tuesday, June 7th, 2022, alongside Ian Ferguson.
Yep, that's me.
I'm Pat Contry.
That's
fresh off the Mets Padres games for last night. You can listen all about my food experience with Frank at patreon.com/CU podcast. On the show today, we'll be talking about lots of good stuff, Ian. The the Mega Drive Mini 2 announced, not the Sega Genesis one. We have a Patreon poll. We have lots of good stuff. We have a beefy intro as well on here. We do. Ian, how was your weekend?
It was good.
Good. Your life is good.
It was Pokemon Go Fest over the weekend. I did not play, but Vani played. It was a 2-day event. She had a good time. I made a bunch of sandwiches for a group on Saturday. I made garlic bread sandwiches. I roasted garlic, made homemade garlic butter, spread it on the rolls, cooked them off. I did grilled chicken with Montreal seasoning, and I melted provolone cheese over the whole thing.
I can't wait to have mine for lunch today.
Yeah, I mean, sandwiches don't usually hold for 3 days, so that's probably why you didn't get one.
So sandwiches don't hold for 3 days? What, do they disintegrate?
No, but I mean, you don't want a 3-day-old sandwich. It's weird. It's weird, Patrick. So that was fun. I watched Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter movie from 87, I think. It really reconfirmed my love of Donald Pleasance.
Who doesn't love Donald?
You gotta love Donald Pleasance. Blofeld, Dr. Loomis.
One of the Blofelds.
One of the Blofelds, yes.
There was like 17 of them. There was 4.
Yeah, he's awesome. And then I played a lot of Jupiter Hell. It's a game I bought in early access about 2 years ago and waited for it to get out. If you like roguelikes, it's by the same guy who did Doom RL. He also did Diablo RL and Aliens RL. But Doom RL is really, really good. And Jupiter Hell is just a nicer, flashier version of it. And I am hardcore addicted to it. I put probably 10 hours into it over the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really good game if you like roguelikes and or Doom. Can't really recommend it highly enough. That was my weekend.
Yeah, my weekend was not good, but yesterday was fun watching the Mets beat the Padres. I've only seen the Mets lose once to the Padres while I've been here, and I've seen them play them almost every year, 10 years. So the Mets are 9-1. The Padres, honestly, I think I've only seen them win 1 or 2 games out of I think I've probably seen about 17 Padres games since I've been here. And they've only won 2 games. Once against the Yankees. The one Yankee game I saw with Frank, they beat the Yankees. I think it was a walk-off. And then there was one other game they won when I first got here. But the Padres historically have not been a good franchise overall. No. Historically. They went to the World Series once with good old Tony Gwynn, who doesn't love Tony. But overall, they have not been a great franchise.
Well, they've gotten better. I mean, but
they've been spending money the past years, but yeah.
I just looked at their record. They're actually not that far out from the Dodgers in terms of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just mean historically, year to year.
Oh, yeah.
They're not making the playoffs.
No.
Most of the years they're not.
Yeah, 33-22 is the win-loss record right now for the Padres,
that's good.
And Dodgers is 35-19.
Okay.
So they're behind a few games, but they're still second in the NL West.
Okay. They can get that good old the wild card now. There's more teams. There's 4
and the next behind them is the Giants, and the Giants are 29-24. So Padres are at least pretty solidly second.
Yeah, then again, the season's forever, so things can change. It's one of the reasons why I don't like following the Mets, because the Mets are the Mets are in first place every year. The Mets are in first place.
We've got a whole summer of baseball.
All right, Mets are in first place a month into the season, then they fall apart. And then it's why am I getting my... I said to Frank, I don't want to talk baseball until it's at least after the All-Star break, sometime late July. Then I'll start making sure, okay, now I'll track this. Yeah. There's just too many... It's too long this season. It's just too many things can happen. A guy breaks his wrist, a pitcher,
Love baseball, but I think the one thing that we've discussed today that holds true for all of baseball is it's too long.
It's just
too long. Both individual games and season.
The rent is too damn high.
It's too damn high.
The games are too damn long.
Actually, I don't mind it going on for so long, just because I always baseball's a constant, but the games definitely need to shorten.
Ian, is there an article here about the update about the Ultima thing? Do I see that? We can bring it up real quick.
Oh, I did not drop it, but Kyle Orland did an update on the Ultima, or did a very long article, about 4,400 words, on the Ultima forgeries that we discussed last week. There's interviews in there. There's even stuff from Riccardi himself.
Is that on Ars Technica?
I believe it's Ars Technica. There's even quotes from Riccardi himself that are kind of
The alleged counterfeit.
yeah, insane. Talking about the differences in pictures are because the lighting is different in the images.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then
Holy
one person
shit.
pointed out something he sold was a forgery because the original would have a red stripe on top of the plastic bag, and he said instead of just admitting it was a forgery, he was like, "Well, I changed the bag. I don't think that's a crime."
That's like,
And then someone asked him about why there was a cracked copy of the game on the disc if it was supposed to be a legitimate copy of the game.
Really? So there's
And he said, "Well, sometimes people lose data and they just put a cracked copy on the disc." And the guy, and then Kyle Arnold was like, "But that's inauthentic.
That's not the worst thing, because people aren't collecting for that. You can get the original software on that, but
Right.
like the fact that you're blaming lighting on like drastically different colors of
awful, yeah,
like they
that
are
one with
close.
the dragon that was like the red.
Yeah,
and
the reds
black.
were gone. They were just black. The reds were absolutely gone.
it was
We're
gross.
talking totally different color tones.
Yeah.
And thing. Okay, so check out that article. I can't even find it here. You know, I wanted to go through real quick, but that's fine. So the alleged counterfeiter basically said, "Oh, I didn't do anything wrong."
Yes.
You're not going to admit it.
Yeah,
But in the article, is there anyone talking about getting legal recourse against them, or is it like?
I don't think I saw anything about that.
right.
But go read the article. It's good. It's long. It came out this morning. Otherwise, we'd be more.
Why
on top
can't
of
I
it.
find it on the site?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
We have a long intro. People will go read the article.
And you're the guy you're the intro commander, according to the people.
That's right.
You keep
So
it-
we're
you
moving
keep it
on.
going.
You want to talk about Morbius returning to theaters due to memes?
Okay.
I think we do want to talk about
I think
this.
we do. Well,
This was an emotional roller coaster for me, by the way.
Morbius.
Well, because remember how like Venom came out and then everyone was like ironically loving Venom? And then we got a sequel to Venom and we were like, stop doing this with movies. I thought people were going to do this with Morbius.
Oh, no. I said, damn you for seeing Venom, because all you edgy 90s, comic fans think it's an interesting character when it largely isn't.
No, they went to see it because the movie was funny and weird.
Oh, yeah. And you have a weird performance and whatever. It's like,
But companies need to stop basing. That does not always mean that you need a sequel. Sometimes it means that you hit it once and that's it. You got to stop.
I heard the sequel was better than the original.
Maybe it was. Morbius, though, all I thought was going to happen was I thought all this talk was going to lead to a sequel. And I was like, I hate people for doing this. But it led to Sony putting the movie back into theaters, and it tanked for a second time.
So a lot of memes started happening the last couple of weeks.
It's Morbin time was the big
and
one.
I'm like, what? I'm like, people are, they want to get, they're basically making fun of how bad the movie is, I guess.
Yes.
And saying, oh, it's Morbin time. And so then I guess I'm picturing a Sony boardroom meeting
The kids love it.
or a Zoom call, at least, where, oh, we're getting traction. What are you thinking? It's going to be the next fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show? Is that what you think this is going to be? No. The internet largely doesn't matter for this shit. Twitter doesn't fucking matter for when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Like if 50,000 people on Twitter start doing memes, that's not going to result in any money for your product. It doesn't mean anything.
Memes are free. That doesn't mean people are going to get in a car, go to the theater, and pay money to watch your fucking dumb
and
movie.
meme together in a group. A lot of people
Right.
do memes solitary on computers. It's just fun. I'm on my phone. I'm going to meme.
Yeah, it works online. You're not going to get a bunch of people shouting out meme lines in a movie theater.
So the fact that they wasted money to put this back into theaters to make nothing. What did they make? What was it? Less than $100,000 the whole weekend? What was it?
It was very, very low.
It was ridiculous. Let me see on box office.
It's a classic case of a company, well, Sony, thinking that people were laughing with them, not at them.
Yes.
And people were absolutely laughing at them.
Absolutely. Why can't I find the daily here?
You're having a tough time finding it.
I can't find shit today. I'm trying to just be like, oh, search for Morbius. I thought it was like 85,000 I saw over the weekend.
Okay, I thought it was like in the 70s, but yes, it was low.
Let me see if I got the update on here.
I know like one screen did like a massive $257 over the weekend or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? Ever since IMDb bought Box Office Mojo, I can't use the site anymore. I don't know when that happened, but like I can't bring up anything anymore. I can't bring up like every day what it did. It's like not showing up for me, and I'm really fucking annoyed that I'm so unprepared during this intro.
85,000.
It was 85,000.
73. Oh, no. Movie earned another 85,000 on Friday with a 73.6 million domestic cumulative.
Overall.
It's 270 per theater average is the lowest in the top 20.
So it made through its life 76 million. That's
73.6 million. Yep.
Worldwide.
Yep.
Probably not.
No, that's domestic.
Domestic. I was gonna say if that was worldwide, that's no sequel at all, and maybe with worldwide it would barely. But Top Gun, Maverick is still doing great. I still got to see it. I want to see it in the theater. I got to get on that a little bit. And then Jurassic World Dominion is out, and I can't put myself through seeing the two Jurassic Worlds before this one. I want to see this one it's the last one with this cast and to tie it up. I just can't put myself through it. I can't do homework anymore for movies. I can't.
I watched Jurassic Park with Vonnie again last week because it's a great movie and you can throw down anytime and watch it. And
you can throw down. You can fight.
I don't need it. I don't need anything more than that. I've seen at various times the sequels. I saw Lost World, sucked because I loved the book. I liked the book as a kid, and the movie is just
totally different.
Well, I mean, with the fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex tearing through LA at the end, or San Diego.
Coronado Island, baby.
Coronado, yeah.
That's what tearing through.
Awful movie. The third one, I liked the aviary scene. That was kind of cool. And then Jurassic World was in a lot of ways like The Force Awakens in that it hit just
all the notes.
It hit all the beats.
Oh, we open the park and something bad goes wrong. And I said, like, wasn't that the lesson of the first one?
Not as bad as The Force Awakens, but very similar. And both were released around the same time. Clearly nostalgia grabs. It's like, we just got to hit these beats that people know because that's what they're going to like. And it was fine, but I didn't need to see the second one. And I'm not going to watch the second one to see the third one. Even though I like the cast, like they brought back Laura Dern, love Laura Dern, and they brought back Sam Neill, and I think Jeff Goldblum is back too.
It's the original three back together.
Right.
So it's like, that's interesting to me. That's interesting. Because he was in the third one and the first one, and then Goldblum was, I think, cameoed in the last one, and he was in the second one.
So I would like to see it for that reason, but I can tell you I'm never going to make the time to do it.
You're going to make the time to talk about Sonic Frontiers?
Sure. They started doing... So IGN has like exclusive access to like these gameplay demos that they've been doing. But the problem is no one who works at Sega seems to really know how to play the game. Basically, what people have said after looking at it is the game looks half-baked, which it does. It looks
off a gameplay
it just looks like an older build. Like it looks like an old build. Not saying that the game looks awful, but it looks like it's early. It's early for a game that is
like
supposed
an alpha version
for a game that's supposed to be coming out this year. That's the problem. There was actually a Sonic event this morning where they came out and said that, yes, the demos that have been running on IGN have been using an older build of the game. I think the problem is, though, and what a lot of people who have been watching it said is there is really something to be said about a well-cut, well-edited trailer.
Okay.
Because that excites people, whereas if you watch a bunch of devs stumbling around a game during its building block phase, that's not what people want to see.
So that's Sega's marketing fault for like allowing this to happen.
Yes, basically people are like, why is Sega doing this? They either need to put it in the hands of someone who knows how to play it, or they simply need to wait, put it back in the oven, or just release a trailer, an actual trailer.
Well, this is some of the comments. I'm looking at the Eurogamer article. It was a hashtag delay. Sonic Frontiers has been trending following the game's first gameplay reveal.
People don't want it rushed out. 2
videos exclusively released IGN showcasing the game's open world design and its combat. The first video shows off traversal in the open world. Okay, I didn't watch that. I watched more of the combat one. With Sonic speeding across a verdant island. That's good word, verdant. Climbing monoliths and solving puzzles. Did you see that? Did you like that? Do you like the idea of the open world stuff?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I don't generally like open world games, but I didn't see anything in that looked particularly bad.
I just think it's somewhat counterintuitive to what you're used to in like the original Sonic games, where it's like rails and you're going through a specific environment versus
but overall, after playing something like Bowser's Fury, I do think that open world can work in a platforming framework. I think it can.
But they think they can make it work with like different areas where like you'll like
just like Bowser's Fury ended up being a bunch of little parks, essentially all over the place that you went to. I think they'll do the same thing with Sonic Frontiers.
There'll be enough to keep it interesting,
and I think that'll be fine.
Because it's not like Legend of Zelda that's open world. That's core to its design of the game, being open.
And I think it'll work for Sonic because Sonic's big thing is running fast, so traveling the open world should be fun.
As long as there's stuff to do.
Yeah, the combat I did not watch, but I heard it looked sluggish and drawn out.
One comment said, "You can't convince me this isn't a glorified tech demo. It's so soulless." My biggest gripe with this showcase is easily animations. I did see that comment come out a bunch on Twitter. It's like the animations do not look right. It does not. Sonic just looks way too stiff and unnatural. It's especially evident when he runs around the enemies. He just stares forward soullessly as if nothing is happening. Maybe Sonic appear smoother and interactive with his surroundings would definitely give this game more charm. And then this comment on Twitter, this looks like ass. Stiff and clunky as fuck. This is boom levels of incomplete. This is embarrassing. How is Sonic Team this incompetent? Okay. Open world games are tough to pull off, obviously. You got to make them interesting. You got to make them feel, I guess, like lived in a little bit. Breath of the Wild was in development for like 5 years. You know, like, so 4 years, 5. So you need a lot of time, I think, to get these open world games done properly. I'm not saying they're not putting the time and effort in this, but like this is.
I think they want it out too quickly. That's all it is.
You got to like open world is something different. There's a reason why, like, Red Dead games and not saying Sonic's ever going to be as complex as Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto, but you need
5 years for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, you need that amount of time to make these games interesting and to know what the hell you're doing. And I don't know if Sega's putting in the money and effort for on that scale for an open world game. I just don't know if they had that. They don't have those resources probably to do that on that scale. So all right, well, hopefully it comes out and people like it, Ian.
We'll see.
I don't have a pony in that race for sure. Let's talk about Diablo Immortal a little bit. Our favorite app game.
Yeah, our favorite app game. So players are upset as I feel like I don't think there was any good way to do this game. But apparently the microtransactions are pretty bad to the point where the articles are saying Diablo Immortal players could spend over $100,000 to max out a single character.
If you want to just rush it and just
want to rush it.
Gotcha.
And that's absolutely insane. I haven't played it yet. I have no intentions of playing it. But 100,000 seems like a lot. I mean, even if you just take a character from Go in any other game, I don't think $100,000 is normal.
I don't have a comparison to know how much it costs. Good old Raid Shadow Legends, which I'm a fan of. You have groups. You don't have one player. You have like groups. But like, I'm trying to think how much to totally max out that character would it cost. I don't know. It wouldn't be cheap, but it wouldn't be 100,000. I just don't know what it would be. $1,000, several hundred, because you have to max out the accessories and the artifacts, which are like 6-star artifacts. You have to upgrade your character to 6 stars. That's a lot of money and time and effort. So like, it's grueling to do it without money, but you can do it. Which I guess is the point of those games. Like they don't want people to do it, but that's $100,000 seems very egregious. Yeah. I just don't know what it should be. I don't know what it should be.
Right. And that's the thing. So absolutely no defense here for them, but I'm wondering if it would not surprise me if this was the case in other free-to-play games.
Yeah, I don't know.
But because this is such a big name game that people are really noticing it. But yes, $110,000 seems appalling. You could have told me 10,000 and I would have found it appalling.
But what's reasonable? I have no idea. Like, what would be reasonable? You say 1,500, 2,500, 1,000? Like, what's reasonable?
Again, this is why I avoid pretty much all free-to-play games. I just, what's the point?
And the problem is that there's one currency in the game that you cannot earn. See, that's the problem.
Non-earnable currency is like the number one thing that'll turn me off.
So that's the problem. Again, my only experience is Raid Shadow Legends. There's nothing in the game, as far as I know, that you cannot acquire through either luck or grinding.
Sure.
Or time. Like you can acquire everything. It might be a huge pain in the ass, and there's tons of luck involved, but you can get the stuff. There's nothing like I have not.
Now odds may very well,
of course,
limit it to being basically only available by purchase, but there is at least some avenue to getting it.
So, if, like, for example, in Raid, there's, like I said, there's 3 different types. There's 4 gems to get your characters. The toughest gem to get, if you don't buy it, I still get one like once or twice a year.
I got you.
For like to get the hardest to find. You have a better chance of getting the hardest to find characters. So you still earn them. It's just like you're not going to get them easy peasy, obviously, Ian. Like you got to pay out whatever it costs in game to get it. But you can get them. I haven't spent money on that game since it first launched. I got a little bit of money because it was originally a sponsor. I did get a little bit of money, but ever since that point, I haven't spent any money at all.
Right.
And I built up a pretty good team with a good old what's her name? My orc lady that I got off my first. What's the orc lady called? I forget. People out there will be yelling at me. I don't know her name, but she's a great support champion. Anyway, so 100,000 is pretty bad. But my voice is just don't play the game. That's what it comes down to. Just like you vote with your wallet and be like, all right, this is it. We're not down for this.
You know where else you can vote with your wallet? UltimateNintendo.com.
Yes, Ian, you can vote yes or no to say yes to enamel pins. You got the CU Podcast pin, the Pixel Pat pin, RBI baseball stickers by the boatload, Super Nintendo and NES guidebooks, not for resale Blu-ray, video game years, everything there. I'll be on Twitch tomorrow earlier because it's Game 3 of the NBA playoffs, the finals. I'll be on 4 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/ContraCode. And then I'll be at Too Many Games, June 24th and 26th in Oaks, PA. And I'll be at the Southeast Game Exchange already about a month from now in South Carolina. So that's already coming up. So flights are happening, Ian. Flights are happening. You want to talk about this little article? Take-Two boss warns it may not end well for companies betting on blockchain-based metaverses. What a shock.
Yeah.
This is from videogamechronicle.com, which we talk about more of these articles more lately. Strauss Zelnick says he doesn't believe the word metaverse means guaranteed success. I guess anyone with common sense is pointing that out the past year, that like the metaverse isn't going to be a thing. We're not going to all this. This isn't going to be a dystopian future like Ready Player One, where we just go home and strap on our VR headsets and wish our lives were better. Like I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. I don't.
I don't think so either.
If VR hasn't been like adopted in most homes by now, you're not going to make it happen. It's not going to be a thing. It's not. I just don't see it happening. Or even just metaverse games without VR where you have avatars. It's like it's not happening. Don't what's the phrase from Mean Girls? Don't try to make that word a thing.
Don't try to make fetch happen.
Don't try to make fetch happen. Did fetch ever happen, Ian? They try to make it happen?
No. Karen just kept trying to make fetch happen.
I still haven't seen Mean Girls. I wanted to watch it.
Fantastic movie.
Companies such as Sony, Epic, Lego, Meta, it's a Facebook, Krafton, Bandai Namco, and Microsoft are all planning their own takes on the concept, and they're all going to likely fail.
Yep.
I'm going to go out on a small limb and say that. Strauss said he was skeptical of anyone investing behind buzzwords. Fucking Zuckerberg rebranded his entire company into Meta and had that awful campaign based upon this, and going back to overpaying for the fucking Oculus and investing in VR stuff. It ain't panning out. It's not. No one cares.
Nope.
No one cares.
No one gives a shit. You tried, it didn't work. But that's not stopping people from continuing to do it. There's a new Ni no Kuni game that just came out. Ni no Kuni is an RPG series that started on the PlayStation 3. The big deal with Ni no Kuni is that the art is done by Studio Ghibli. So it's like gorgeous art.
That was the one I liked that was on PS3. Remember I talked about that like 10 years ago? Yeah. Was that a PS3 launch title?
It was not a launch title at
all. It was
all.
on PS3 though?
Yes.
Yes, it looked gorgeous.
Yeah,
I remember that.
It looks like
familiar.
It looks like they're movies, so Spirited Away, that sort of stuff. But the new game, which I've seen heavy advertisement for on Twitter, is a gacha game, and it's built on cryptocurrency bullshit. So this is confusing. I'm going to read this. Gacha means random gambling games, essentially. Your game is technically a gacha game too. You
gacha, but not gotcha. GACHA.
GACHA.
I got you. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So this article by Luke Plunkett on Kotaku tries to explain. Netmarble has their own cryptocurrency. Netmarble is the developer of this new game.
Okay.
They have their own cryptocurrency wallet called MarbleX. And as the website points out, there's a link. Players are able to take in-game items, trade them for Netmarble's Asterite or Terite tokens, which are currencies you can trade on MarbleX, and then trade those for other cryptocurrencies.
Well, wait a minute, hold on. You can just it's not just one like in-game digital currency. You can trade them for multiple ones inside.
Well, you can trade it for other cryptocurrencies, like real cryptocurrencies.
So they're putting a dollar back behind it, basically, in essence, into this. But when you say that,
yeah, it's
because you can cash out of real cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, it looks like if you do enough things, you can cash out with real cryptocurrencies. You have to do like 4 trades just to be able to get your shit back into money. And the game is planning to bring NFTs in later this year. So really getting everything going in that. I honestly mentioned it before, and I do mean this. I really wonder what the current NFT market is like in Japan, because it's these companies that are still holding on to it. I don't know if they're just trying to, once again, make something happen, or if NFTs hit Japan later, and that's why we're getting this rush of Japanese games with NFT shit in them, well after the point where it looks like interest is already spiraling downwards in the US. Elsewhere.
Well, gotcha's always been a thing in games for a long time now.
Oh, sure. But it's the cryptocurrency
it's
stuff.
The crypto element, and then NFTs.
Gotcha's whatever.
Yeah. That's where people are like, okay, now you're trying to make your in-game economy, and then it's now play to earn in some weird aspect potentially. And when you look at a game like this, which looks gorgeous, and looks like it'd probably be a great game, like now you're just like it's toxic. It's gonna become toxic.
Yeah,
it's gonna become toxic. Yeah. Enjoy a gameplay-based blockchain system, giving players who enjoy Ni no Kuni Crossroads the opportunity to play to earn tokens through gameplay. 2 different types of tokens. Our team will do our best to preserve the token value. How the fuck do you do that? It's not up to you. It's an in-game market economy.
It's just bullshit you say to make people feel better.
You can't guarantee
there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do.
It's capitalism. You can't guarantee the price of something. You can't. They've been trying to do that with these fucking pegged cryptos.
Stable coin.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a stable coin.
You can't guarantee something's value to maintain anything.
Yeah.
You can't.
I can't believe people would even believe that shit in the first place. How do you make a coin stable? You cannot.
By throwing money into it, like propping it up behind the scenes? Like that, I guess?
I guess, yeah.
But that's not okay. I'm getting angry, Ian.
Mm-hmm. Well, you want to get angry? We can talk about Jake Paul. That always calms people down.
Okay, so this on the awesome website and Twitter, Web3 is going great. This was brought to our attention. I had no idea. We would have killed this when it happened. We had no idea. There's an NFT ripoff project, a ripoff of Pokemon called Anamoon, which I had no idea. So these NFTs, they literally just took the artwork of Pokemon and changed colors around on them.
Yeah, and a couple other things, like this Bulbasaur looks slightly different. It looks like it's got an artichoke on its back instead, and they added 2 bows, but it's a Bulbasaur other than that. So
they tried to scam people, and they scammed people because there was a rug pull for 6.3 million. A rug pull, if you don't know that term, get used to it. You're hearing every day. So it's like, I'm an NFT creator. I'm going to create, I don't know, randomly a collection of Danny Sullivan NFTs, right?
Yep.
I'm going to say, all right, Ian, you get my Danny Sullivan NFTs. I'm going to start making T-shirts off of it. There's going to be a Danny Sullivan cartoon.
There's going to be a meet and greet for holders.
Danny's going to show up and say hi to everyone at a breakfast brunch.
Yeah.
This is all going to happen. If you get these certain NFTs, you get in early.
Get in now.
You get them now. And so we'll just say I make $2 million off these Danny Sullivan NFTs, and then I just fucking ghost you and just take the money and run and do nothing that I'm promised. That's basically what a rug pull is in this case. You take the money and run because people are fucking rubes and marks that buy NFTs, and it's easy money.
You want to hear some of the crazy shit, though, that this promised?
What did this one promise?
This is great. First of all, they claim to have a signed NDA with Pokemon. Whatever that means. That's just
a non-disclosure which is bullshit.
I would have loved to have asked them what does a non-disclosure agreement mean? What do you think NDA means? What do you think that means? But here's what the roadmap included: a play-to-earn game certainly. Collaborations with a Swiss shoe and apparel store that would send them actual gear, real life trips. But they also promised 15 legendary cards, which would automatically generate their owners $2,500 each month for life.
Like a fucking lottery ticket? Like, how is that going to work?
The project was promoted by Jake Paul,
of course,
an influencer whose crypto promotions didn't have a great rate. So you can read the rest on Web3 is going great. Again, one of our favorite websites and Twitters. Someone did the math. They would have needed something like $75 million alone just to
guarantee some amount of payouts.
Just to guarantee that payout if everyone was 25 and like lived to be 80 or something.
Like a
that.
pension, basically. Yeah. You need a certain amount of money to make it work.
Yeah.
And I saw the Jake Paul promotion, and it was funny because like he couldn't even memorize the lines. They literally gave him a little card. He was like looking back to the card to say, "Hey, I hope I get one of those legendaries." It's like, and so they probably pay him money to help promote this, to rob people of money.
Yes.
And obviously you're a Rube and a Mark if you get into this, but it's still, this is why things like the FTC exist. And I thought I saw something about the FTC investigating this stuff. Because there was an article, looks like cryptoslate.com. Jake Paul's been involved in other crypto and shit pump and dumps. It sounds like this one article at Crypto Slate says he got over $2 million by promoting pump and dump crypto schemes. This is from March of this year. So at some point, the Federal Trade Commission is going to go after you. And I think from what I hear, like, this is going to be a thing. Because you can't have influencers just saying, "Hey, let's get in on this stuff," and then they're just scams.
Right.
You know, you can't do that legally. So all it takes is something to happen like this. It seems like this happened before on this article. Kim Kardashian promoted Ethereum Max to her over 200 million followers on Instagram in what the UK regulators described as the biggest crypto promotion ever. She failed to inform them that it was a paid promotion. Steven Seagal was forced to pay a fine of over $300,000 to the SEC for failing to disclose he was being paid to shill an initial coin offering or an ICO. So this is where we're at now. It's not just, hey, I'm not saying that I'm being paid to promote a lipstick or a dress. It's like, okay, that's like, you're not going to lose your fucking house if someone goes and buys like an article of clothing that you fail to disclose, or a lipstick or a video game. But this is real money being lost from people. This is ridiculous. So, you know, hopefully they come down on these people. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So going back to Animu, the project team began to grow more distant after launch, posting less frequently. Promise apparel shipments never arrived. The team changed the legendary rewards from $2,500 a month to a percentage of income from the game. Well, that would make more sense. That would be at least pegged to something,
right?
In theory, but they already got people's money because it was basically trying to buy a lottery ticket. I'm gonna get that legendary one, Ian, and then I'm going to be rich forever.
Yeah.
You know, ridiculous. And we're going to hear more about this, I think, the next year even. And then I think there's going to be laws. I think like the laws will start being passed about this shit more and more. The regulation's going to come in.
Oh, yeah. Within the year, it's going to get locked down pretty tight, I think.
Sure.
This is just a small one that I wanted to bring up because the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is getting a free voiceover and items update. I guess as of yesterday, that update went live. This is actually cool. I did receive a copy of that game to review a few months back, and I talked about it. And my opinion on it was actually, from a gameplay perspective, pretty positive. They had put a lot of work into the gameplay. I could tell it was a fun take on Smash Brothers. I enjoyed it. It felt less floaty, I think, than Smash Brothers does.
No double jump?
So it was just, it's not that. It's just how everything feels in Smash Brothers. Everything feels light. But it was a good playing. It felt good. It played well. The biggest problem I had with it, though, was that you're playing all these iconic characters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, SpongeBob, Ren and Stimpy, and there's no voices. The entire game is dead silent. And I talked about this during the review, and it completely
takes the life out of it, right?
Takes the life out of it. Sure, we've played tons of games in the past with without like actual voice acting, but there wasn't even like grunts or anything in it. It's just like a very silent game when it comes to the characters. And it's even more so, it's even harder to accept that when you can, in your head, you can hear the things that these characters should be saying. Like, sure, SpongeBob should be laughing and doing all sorts of crazy shit as he runs around. So I you know,
SpongeBob.
I hated to be so hard on the game because it did play well, but that really, more so than if it had happened in any other type of game, really took it down a couple of notches for me. And they fixed it. They added it, and I think that's great.
So this is this article. This is who they got in the game. Is it everyone? Or
It's everyone. It's not all original voice actors, but they got voice actors for everyone, I believe.
SpongeBob, Tom Kenny, is that the original guy?
Yep.
Ren and Stimpy's Billy West. He's the original Stimpy. Then he started doing Ren. Garfield. Frank Welker doing Garfield? The original voice, he died a long time ago.
Yeah.
Garfield's in this game? I didn't know that.
He was the first DLC character.
Okay, he's nothing to do with Nickelodeon.
No,
okay.
I know.
That's
That's what I'm saying. It's weird. He was the first DLC character.
I'm not keeping up with this community, Ian.
Pat, I'm not saying it because you didn't keep up with it. I'm saying it because Garfield is a strange choice.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
I thought you meant it's weird.
You're
I don't know
taking it
that.
wrong.
Okay.
No.
Patrick Starr, Bill Fager Baki, and Cora.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So I think Tom Kenny. I'm gonna jump. I think these are some of the originals. So
No, Tom Kenny's definitely the original
that's
for SpongeBob.
Good. So my question is, it's gonna be a free update. What does this cost on Steam? Let me see. What does this cost?
The game, I think, is $50.
So I guess any reasonable person would say, why wasn't this ready to go originally?
Money. Nickelodeon, I mean, and that's what people have always said, because that was the case with their kart racer too. Nickelodeon has the money to throw out these games, but they don't. Their games are just churn. They just churn shit out because parents will buy games for their kids that say Nickelodeon on them. During development of this game, some gaming sites really kind of like talked to some of the people who were making it, and they really wanted to make a good game, but the money wasn't there from Nickelodeon, so it released, and it wasn't just me. It was like every major review of the game was like, it's pretty good, but it really needs voice acting.
So did they see the sales and realize we should invest more in this? This could be a thing that we can run with.
Well, because if they keep making good games, so they make a third of the kart racers and they put voice. Like a lot of the complaints have been the games just seem bare bones to the point where they don't have like voice acting and stuff like that.
They just didn't do the proper investment. They were just like, oh, we'll make what we make, whatever. Now they realize
now that they've made a good game that people like,
they realize we can do this a lot. We can do this up.
But we got to pay for it
because it's not on Switch yet. So if they have
it is on Switch.
Oh,
it's been on Switch. The review code I got was on Switch. The update was launched on Switch yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And the game's been out on all platforms for months.
Why do I think it wasn't coming out on Switch yet?
I don't know. Like I said, that's the version I reviewed.
Oh, you can get an early copy.
Yeah. I mean, it was out. I think I reviewed it a week after it came out.
Oh, okay. All right. So that I'm happy for people in the community on there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in seeing Garfield, what his attack patterns are. Is there an Odie thing or normal?
Oh, I did want to point out, I think the other reason why they're throwing voice acting into this now, I forgot. Big reason. There's that WB multiverse game coming out that has voice acting and looks like the production values are a lot higher. And, you know, that's got some interesting characters in it, too. It's got like Finn and Jake from Adventure Time, Tom and Jerry. So it's, you know, it's the I don't think Nickelodeon wanted to be outdone by their own with their own idea.
Sure. Was it Multiverses? Yeah. That's the WB one. So that's the competing one to this.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm looking at, but this is a much better universe because it's like it makes more sense.
It makes more sense.
This WB one. There's
some choices that I like, but it's very, very silly.
The tone. It's
very, very weird.
You can't have Tom and Jerry fighting a Game of Thrones character.
I mean, you can.
You can, but it doesn't make sense.
No, but it's kind of funny.
It's not a kid's. It doesn't make sense. Like Adventure Time.
It's Arya Stark, isn't it? Yeah, it's Arya Stark.
It's someone that's killing everyone, like slitting their throats. Adventure Time, DC Universe, Game of Thrones, Iron Giant, Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, Steven Universe, which I know nothing about, and then Tom and Jerry, and then there's an original character. It doesn't come together, I think, as well as, in my opinion.
No, the Nickelodeon universe makes a lot more sense.
So that's going to sell a hell of a lot better than this. I think that's going to be the winner out of this war because it has SpongeBob in it. It has Garfield. You know, I know you love Tom and Jerry.
We'll see,
but you know, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry are near and dear,
long in the tooth. Tom and Jerry. Though. You know, that movie that. Did you like that movie?
I haven't watched any of the Tom and Jerry movies. Just because I like Tom and Jerry doesn't mean I'm going to consume. I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Oh. A lot of people out there.
I had to take the shot. I had to take the shot.
Man, Kenobi looks good.
It does. I've heard it's good.
GameStop employees walked out of a location in Lincoln, Nebraska. This was tweeted out, and then it was confirmed in a Kotaku article, Ian. In a great way, we saw this tweeted at us, and I was like, is this confirmed? So literally the employees printed out on their nice little inkjet printer a little notice to potential patrons.
I'll read it. It's great. Okay. We regret to inform you that we all quit. Our district manager has no respect for us as employees or as human beings. We have been told by our district manager that we were supposed to have had this store achieving sales quotas and running perfectly 6 months ago, which was 3 months before a lot of us even got hired. Unfortunately, despite the staff's best efforts, we are not God. For all your gaming needs, please visit. And then they list 3 local places, Entertain Mart, which is in the same mall as them, Gamers, and Game Room.
Spend your money at an establishment that respects its employees. Grammar error, it should be just ITS.
Yes.
Sincerely, former GameStop team. That's the editor and me.
I mean, first of all, good for you.
It's a walkout. It's not even a strike. We're just walking out.
Good for you.
Wow.
So, one, happy for him. Retail is a miserable job. Corporate retail must be, I mean, that's a fate worse than death.
Don't maybe bring up Suncoast.
And, you know, GameStop is really bad. It's always been one that people focus on because they make their employees just ask you so many fucking questions. You know, do you want this? Do you want the warranty? Do you want to sign up for the card? And do you want the you know, replacement guarantee or whatever? And yeah, it's got to be tough. And so from what this article on Kotaku by Ethan Getch says, that apparently has been hidden, hasn't made like mainstream news, is that this is the 4th walkout since August 2021 between 2 locations in Lincoln, Nebraska. This location has had 2 walkouts, including this one, and then another Lincoln, Nebraska store has had 2 walkouts, both because they have the same district manager, who is apparently a large piece of shit.
Who's overseeing the entire like region, like, or whatever, the state, or be like, what's happening here, and fixing this and removing the problem, which seems like it's this asshole district manager. But maybe he's getting pressure on. I'm not saying he's a good guy, but he might be getting pressure from above his boss, saying like, you got to make this happen.
Middle management, I don't give, I don't give middle management, district management types the time of day, and I'm sure he's an asshole. I'm certain of it.
When Kotaku called the store on Monday, someone answered saying that it would be open again soon, and directed us to contact the communications firm, which specializes in topics like investor relations, shareholder activism, and crisis management. You okay, Ian?
I never plugged in my computer.
Oh, well, that's a thing, Ian. Yeah. That's a thing you should probably do at some point in the podcast.
There we go.
So this is what I'm going to say is this. This article brings up the fact that there's some locations now where there's only one employee. They have to like, only one employee in a big store like that's bad. And then they got to take breaks. They got to put up a sign saying we're not open right now. I go for a bathroom break or a lunch break. I'm not saying this is endemic to all the GameStops, but I wouldn't be surprised if this happens.
No, it is. I mean, you go to any GameStop and they look understaffed and overworked. And you know, the article points out something interesting. Morale is down even lower morale is even lower at GameStop right now because what's been in the news for the past 2 years? All these fucking asswads that made a shitload of money, playing meme stocks, and all the money that was made for GameStop with nothing. Trickle down economics is bullshit. It doesn't work. Well, because no one's going to see any.
Well, they didn't reinvest it into their store infrastructure.
No, they realized that they realized just as much that there is no point to GameStop existing. We're not going to put this money into it because we're going to be gone within 5 years anyway.
We'll just gamble on NFTs and throw money at that and marketplace, which is not going to work. And then, not like I said, we always talked about this for years. We didn't see a way out for GameStop besides doing something radically different with their stores. Like they tried the retro game initiative. Unfortunately, that was right before the pandemic in 19. They tried to do some retro game store stuff. You remember that?
Retro game initiative was even earlier than that.
No, I'm not talking about them selling it. I mean, they were transforming some stores. They had pilot stores with like
with like places you could play.
Yes. They did a handful of stores of that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the pandemic happened. I'm not saying that would have been a success, but having a space for gamers to meet up and play, which they like and make money off of chips and food, like that's
I think
what
as we talked about,
that's what some like a LAN party location. That's how they make money.
Well, back then, like I said, it might have been a decent idea, but they were again 10 years too late on that.
It's too late when you have 1,000, 2,000 stores that you can't redo every single store.
You're essentially talking about remaking a LAN cafe. LAN cafes haven't been a thing since 2005.
But like you can't do that for every single store anyway. You don't have the money or infrastructure to do that, and training, like it's done. But no, that's a good point. It's like you're right. Talk about trickle-down economics. Just like you didn't reinvest the money into your employees or into anything, or even like we said, a digital game marketplace. We thought the NFT was related to that, and it wasn't. It wasn't. It was just bullshit. Yeah. It was just bullshit. Yeah. All the meme stock shit in the world and people that got rich off of basically a gamble, it doesn't matter because it's still a company that's going down the drain. So,
right. GameStop is not saved. It's just kicked down the hall a little further.
The can's kicked down the hallway. Sure.